paradoxes of education is precisely at the point when you begin to develop a conscience. You must find yourself in some way at war with society. Remember, we have to tell the truth, until we can bear it, and then a little bit more. It is your responsibility to change society if you think of yourself as an educated person. And on the basis of the evidence, moral and political evidence, one is compelled to say that this, Baldwin says, is a backward country. Trump is just the latest evidence.
Imagine a town where black families thrived, where children played in the streets, where businesses excelled, and where people dreamed of a future free from oppression. Now, imagine that same town wiped off the face of the earth, erased with nothing left behind as if it never existed. Not by time, not by natural disaster, but by hate. This is not a story of war. It's not a tale of conquest or foreign invasion. This is the story of Rosewood, Florida, a small, independent black town that was destroyed in one of the most brutal racial massacres in American history. The year was 1923. Racial tensions across the United States were very extreme. The horrors of slavery had officially ended, but white supremacy was still deeply ingrained in the South. The Ku Klux Klan had resurged in power, and Jim Crow laws ensured that black Americans remained second-class citizens. And amid the racial terror, one false accusation was all it took to seal the fate and existence of Rosewood. A white woman in the neighboring town of Sumner screamed for help, claiming she had been attacked by a black man. Within hours, an armed mob who were thirsty for blood was formed. Their destination was Rosewood. What followed was a nightmarish rampage that lasted for days. Homes were burned to the ground, men were lynched. Women and children fled into the swamps, their cries swallowed by the dense Florida wilderness. And when the dust settled, Rosewood was gone. What makes this story even more terrifying is that it was almost completely erased from history. The media buried the truth. Survivors were too afraid to voice out, and for decades America pretended Rosewood never existed. However, history always has a way of resurfacing. In this video, we are going to expose the truth. We will take you through the rise and fall of Rosewood, the lies that led to its destruction, the horrors its residents faced, and the battles that lasted decades to bring justice to those who lost everything. If we don't tell these stories, they will be erased again. This is the tragic story of the Rosewood Massacre and how a Florida town was erased from history. Before Rosewood became a ghost town, before its streets were stained with blood and its buildings reduced to ashes. It was a thriving, independent black community. A town where hard work translates to prosperity, where families built homes, and where black men and women dared to dream in the face of a world that tried to keep them down. Florida, Rosewood wasn't always a black town nestled in the heart of Levy County. In the mid-1800s, it was a mixed community, home to both black and white families. The town was named after the rose-colored wood that came from its pine trees, a resource that made it a prime location for the timber industry. Like many southern towns, Rosewood's economy thrived on logging and the production of railroad ties. Timber mills provided steady work, and the town's location near the Gulf of Mexico allowed for easy transportation of goods. But while white families found wealth in large industries, black residents of Rosewood pursued something even more valuable: independence. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, Rosewood had transformed into a predominantly black town.